Hello everyone, welcome to a brand new episode of Non-Scripted Ramblings. I'm Kendall Richardson. Thank you for joining me, and this is it. This is the end. This is the spoiler episode I'm doing for episode 9, Star Wars episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker, the end of the Skywalker saga. Oh man, so it's been 2 weeks since I first saw the film. It's been 2 weeks since most people have seen the film already, and I can't believe the countdown felt like it was taking forever, and now all of a sudden here we are, and it's 2 weeks after, and yeah, still processing the whole thing, still loving it, still love it. I saw it again a few days ago, so things are a bit more fresh in my mind, so I can sit down and do this and also get, the best kind of perspective, I think, or just to kind of reinforce how I feel about it, or reassess, any kind of lingering thoughts or questions or problems I may have. But for the most part, I still really love the film. It's just so much fun. That's the best thing, one of the best things about it. It's just so much fun, and so I'm really excited to dive a bit deeper into it with all spoilers. So if you haven't seen Rise of Skywalker yet, do yourselves a favor and go watch it. It's awesome. You'll have a blast. Don't listen to the internet. I know I'm on the internet right now saying don't listen to the internet, but there's a lot of negative talk about this film, and yeah, sure, you're allowed to have your opinion. I'm allowed to have my opinion. Everybody is. It's totally fine. But don't not go see the film if someone's just completely ragging on it. Go form your own opinion, make up your own mind as to what you think about the film, So I don't want to, I don't know, because there are issues. Yes, it's not a perfect film, not by a long shot, but for what it set out to do, for me, it achieved it. It completed the saga. It ended it wonderfully. I really, really loved it. But anyway, so I don't even know where I should start with this, but I suppose we could just get the big stuff out of the way first. The return of Emperor Palpatine, Darth Sidious. Yeah, they really went straight for it at the start with this one. I mean, we all knew he was going to be in the movie because of the trailers, but the fact that they didn't waste any time, they got straight into it, and they were like, yep, he's literally, the first line is like the dead speak, and there's a message that's being broadcast from Palpatine. They never really say what do they say? I don't know. I can't remember if they say what the message says, but I think it's, him talking about the final order and how he's back, and, the Sith will rise, and blah, 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 blah. Yes, so, I don't know. Ian McDiarmid reprising his iconic character from the prequel trilogy, from the original trilogy. It's great, and a lot of people have been saying how his return kind of undermines or negates the the redemption of Anakin Skywalker at the end of Return of the Jedi. Just the fact that he's there. I can totally understand why people would say that, because you're right. I mean, the moment Anakin turned back to the good side, turned away from being Darth Vader, was when he saved Luke from being killed by the Emperor and threw him over. We've all seen it. That was the moment, and it's a huge moment, and it really it defines Anakin Skywalker's story. That there was always good in him. Luke was right the whole time, and he never gave up, and here we are. But for me, in terms of this film, I don't really think so, only because the prequel trilogy makes such a big deal about how Palpatine was the Phantom Menace, how Darth Sidious was behind the entire thing from the start. I mean, they even reference him as a Phantom Emperor in the opening crawl of this movie, which I thought was a really cool little Easter egg. But he's pulling the strings, so it really doesn't bother me in the slightest, just because of that, and because of the fact that, you know, straight off the bat, I guess it's a little exposition-y, but whatever, it's fine. It doesn't bother me too much, but, you know, when he says to Kylo Ren that, you know, I've been the voices in your head, and his voice changes from his to Snoke's and to Darth Vader, and, you know, I thought that was brilliant. So it is a bit of a weird one, considering, you know, there's been no kind of mention or hints that Palpatine was behind it in episode 7 or episode 8, but I don't know, it makes me wonder if J.J. Abrams had written and directed Last Jedi instead of Rian Johnson, would there have been a Palpatine reference in it? Would there have been something more connecty between all three films? I don't know. Potentially. Just because it does... I mean, yes, it makes sense for Palpatine to be behind the entire thing, for him himself to be Snoke, makes a whole lot of sense to me. You know, based on who he is, who his character is, and what he is known for doing. But it does come very much out of the blue. But I suppose if anyone's going to be behind it, it's going to be Palps. It's going to be Palps. So it's fine. It's fine. I don't think it really undermines, because Anakin's still, you know, he was still redeemed. It's not like he wasn't, you know, it doesn't undo what happened. Like, he still was redeemed. Luke still technically saved his father, you know, helped us to bring him back to the good side, to the light side, you know. So why, I don't know. I think that's not really worth getting too upset over, in my opinion, but that's just me. The planet of Exegol, the Sith planet, I love that stuff. I love that planet. The aesthetics of it is just fantastic. It's so scary, like, it's terrifying. I absolutely adore it, and it is exactly what a Sith home world or a Sith, you know, place in the galaxy should be. It really is. The dark skies and the clouds and the lightning, that was my favorite thing. The way the lightning flashed and the screeching noises it made almost every time the lightning flashes in that film. It makes these creepy screeching noises, and I loved it. I thought that was sick. I thought that was fantastic. Like, more of that, please. More of Exegol in future Star Wars things, please. Disney, give me more Exegol. I really, really loved it a lot. I also thought that Palpatine's throne, the Sith throne, God, try saying that really fast 5 times. Sith throne. Yes. Reminded me so much. For some reason, it just reminded me of, like, the shot in Aliens, James Cameron's Aliens from 1986, you know, random reference here, but it just reminded me of that first shot you see of the Queen, the alien Queen, when she's sitting there hooked up to the, you know, egg sac or whatever, and she's just chilling, but she's so big, and because she's sitting, all her limbs kind of, like, point out, you know, like, go up and stuff, and so it just kind of spikes out. So that kind of shot of the throne just really had a vibe of that for me, and I thought that was really, really cool. Another really cool thing, the fact that Palpatine used a quote from his Darth Plagueis speech he gave to Anakin Skywalker back when he was Senator Palpatine in Revenge of the Sith. So good. The dark side of the Force is a pathway to many abilities some consider to be unnatural. That was brilliant, and it was, yes, it's fan service, I don't care, but I am here for the fan service. I am here. If you know my thoughts on Avengers Endgame, people, you will know I love fan service, and I really don't care if you think, you know, it's cheap or preachy or whatever, or, yeah, I don't know. I just think if it's done right and it's done well. I think it was done badly in Solo. It was done fantastically in this film. So that's just my opinion. But yeah, using that quote was just brilliant, because there's so many uses of the Force in this film that we've never really seen before. and, you know, and then just, I don't know, just the whole, you know, bringing people, resurrection and people coming back to life, and, you know, the way Palpatine talks about it with Anakin and Darth Plagueis, you know, resurrecting people and healing people and stuff. So, and then with the Force healing in this, and just, yeah, and then the whole stuff with Snoke and whether or not his life force was in Snoke or whatever, or how Palpatine was resurrected by whoever. Like, just, yeah, I think that was, yeah, really good. God, I ranted then, and now I really rambled then, and now I can't remember what my point was. It's actually gone. Oh well, too bad I can't stop and rewind. I probably could, but, you know, sorry. Yeah, well, that reference, sorry, yes, the quote, the reference makes sense. Yes, it's just very clever. Yes, because of the way we see the Force used. Yes, that was the point I was making. Fantastic. What a good way to good time to segue into Rey Palpatine, I think, considering, you know, even before we find out she's a Palpatine, you know, we see her use Force lightning, and that was a brilliant scene, and I loved it. And it made me also think to compare it to another film, a completely separate film, and I want to say to Hollywood, not that anyone from Hollywood's watching this, but I want to say that this is how, as actors, you perform this kind of thing. Because in the movie Dark Phoenix, came out in 2019, there is a scene where Michael Fassbender and Sophie Turner as Magneto and Jean Grey are using their psychic abilities, her psychic abilities, and his, you know, metal, obviously, his power he has to, you know, stop that helicopter from taking off, right? And they're overdoing it to the max, like the straining on the face and the you know, the gestures with the, you know, it's just all over the top. And there was one time I saw it twice at the cinema, and I think maybe the second time I watched it, I thought to myself, you know, if you think about it, it's just two actors kind of like overly straining themselves at nothing, because, you know, that's, you know, without the special effects, that's what it is. And it really kind of just made me go, oh, yeah, it kind of looks silly. Which is weird, because usually that stuff's very convincing, and both of those actors are, you know, generally usually fantastic. But here in Rise of Skywalker, this is how you do it. You have Adam Driver and you have Daisy Ridley, and in that scene where they're, you know, Rey is trying to stop the, you know, the transport from taking off, because they believe Chewbacca's on it. Spoilers, he's not. Ugh. More on that in a second. And, you know, and then Adam Driver's Kylo Ren is trying to stop Rey from stopping it and letting it go. She's, you know, so they're at war over this, and the way they do it, it's just so much more convincing, and just, I don't know, it's just really, really well done. I really much, if you're gonna watch, I think watch the scenes side by side, and I think there's a clear winner. Of which is better. But yeah, the fact that Rey strained herself so much to the point where you can see it too. It was brilliantly acted, the way Daisy Ridley just kind of, in that last moment before the lightning comes out, you see her switch to anger, which, you know, accesses the dark side really, and that's when the lightning comes out, and then everyone thinks Chewbacca is dead, and my god, that was a heartbreaking few seconds or a couple of minutes. Wow. And I really thought they'd killed him off too. I was like, are you, like, really? Okay, alright. I'm gonna cry. My mouth was on the floor. My, like, jaw was on the floor, I mean. Like, it was just, I was in complete shock, and yeah, I was tearing up and everything, because it's freaking Chewbacca, man. Like, that was hard to watch. But my problem with that is the fact that they revealed he was okay too soon, and part of me thinks that's because maybe the fans, maybe JJ was worried about the fans being overly, I don't know, distressed about losing Chewbacca because he's such a fan favorite, that, you know, that he wanted to put us at ease sooner rather than later. Makes sense, can understand that. But it's just stupid because you go from, you know, that one scene of them, of our heroes thinking that Chewie is dead, and it's all really, really sad, and then they immediately cut to back to the First Order and bring up the fact that there was another transport that brought, you know, a very valuable prisoner for them, and it's revealed it's Chewbacca, and I'm like, oh great, fantastic, he's alive. And then you get like, how many more scenes and how many more minutes pass between them freaking like, you know, our heroes think he's still dead. We as an audience know he is not. Like, he is alive, he's fine. But the way, like, it's just, I don't know, I feel like they could have held on to that reveal a lot longer. Maybe not ages longer, but I don't know, that's just me. That's just a little nitpick I had. Because it just kind of feels weird. Like, if you find it hard to kind of resonate with the sorrow and the grief that our heroes are feeling when you know that the person they're grieving for is actually okay. Like, it just, I don't know, there's a disconnect there, and I didn't really like that. So it was nice when, you know, Rey realized that Chewie was on the destroyer when they were on Kijimi. That was good, and then it was fine after that. But yeah, it was weird. Part of me kind of wishes maybe they'd actually killed Chewbacca off, just because it's totally unexpected, and, you know, Star Wars can be very cliche sometimes, and that's fine. I don't mind. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but it was yeah, I don't know, it was fine. I'm glad he didn't die. I am, but as a writer myself, I feel like maybe that would have been, like, you know, for them to go that hard and kill Chewbacca off would have been really interesting. But I'm glad they didn't. Speaking of characters that almost died, C-3PO as well almost died, because, well, technically we almost lost him because his memory was gone. His memory had to be wiped, and then he went all Sith and evil for, you know, a minute, and that was creepy as hell, and I loved that. That gave me like chills, in like something stirred inside my gut. I was like, this is unnerving, and I like it. It's fine. It's good. C-3PO, I should talk about him a bit too while I'm on him. Really loved Anthony Daniels' portrayal of C-3PO in this film. The stuff that he got to do, yes, he's the comic relief, but this was superb comic relief for me. Like, there's that scene when they're on the desert planet I've forgotten the name of, and like they're all turning around to look at him, because I think he says something, I can't remember what he says, so apologies for that, but he says something like really stupid, I believe, and they all turn around to look at him, and then after like just the right amount of seconds, perfect comedic timing, he turns around and to see what they're looking at. Doesn't say anything, and it's brilliant. It's so funny. I loved C-3PO in this film. What a great way for Anthony Daniels to farewell this character by him having such a big role in this film. I absolutely loved it. People who didn't have a big role in this film, the most glaring one, and I hate saying this because I'm going to talk about Rose Tico and Kelly Marie Tran and how she got absolutely shafted in this movie, and I hate it with a passion. That's probably my biggest issue with Rise of Skywalker. Why did they do that? J.J. Abrams, I would love to know why you decided not to give Rose Tico a bigger role in this film, because it really ruins the continuity for me, because of the way she's used in The Last Jedi. She plays such a big role, and she's awesome. I think she's fantastic. Kelly Marie Tran is a wonderful actress. Wonderful, super talented, and Rose is such a lovely and charming character. I talked about her a lot when I discussed Last Jedi, and I was not expecting her to be reduced to such a minute supporting character. I mean, yeah, you get lots of glimpses and lots of flashes of her on the screen, and she has a few lines of dialogue throughout the whole film, so it doesn't feel like she's not in it. She's in it enough for you to go, oh yeah, Rose is still around, like we haven't forgotten about her. But at the same time, you know, Finn offers her, you know, to come with them so they can go find the Sith Wayfinder, or get the blade. I don't know. I think the blade was something they just happened to find by luck when they're on that desert planet. But they need to find the Wayfinder so they could get to Exegol and stop the Final Order and Palpatine. And Rose is like, I'm gonna stay here and help General Leia do things here. And I'm just like, there's literally nothing stopping you from going on this trip. And yeah, it was just really, really bizarre. Like, she really could have been, as much as I really enjoyed the introduction of, say, Janna, for example, played by Naomi Ackie, she was really great, and I like the fact that she's a, same as Finn, former stormtrooper that, turned against the First Order after they were, her and her whole battalion were ordered to fire on civilians. They didn't want to do it, so they rebelled and fled. Amazing. I think it's fantastic, and she's totally getting her own Disney Plus series, just saying. It's very obvious. That was very on the nose. I liked it, but it was very on the nose. Yeah, but as much as I love the introduction of her, because she seems wonderful, why couldn't Rose, I don't know, have more of that kind of role? Or just, I don't know, maybe, I feel like Rose just should have been on the Falcon. Or they could have at least addressed, like, why didn't they address anything with how Rose feels about Finn, and, like, even a throwaway line of, like, oh yeah, there was that time you kissed me, or, like, oh yeah, it was just the adrenaline pumping, I just, saved your life, I did something heroic, and it was in the moment, like, there was no little, it was completely ignored. And I'm like, why would Kathleen Kennedy okay that? I feel it's very strange. I don't know. It's either a response to Rian Johnson, or it's a response to the internet's kind of opinion of her after Last Jedi. A lot of fans really kind of came after her unfairly, and it was awful what she had to put up with, Kelly Marie Tran. It was absolutely disgusting, because she seems like such a wonderful person. She was so excited to be in Star Wars. I remember, I think she took her parents to the premiere of Last Jedi. Like, it was so adorable. It was so cute. And then she copped, like, the biggest backlash since freaking Jar Jar Binks for some reason. And it's not her fault. It's not her fault anyway. I digress, but just disappointed she wasn't in the movie as much as I think she should have been, but c'est la vie. Anyway, back to Rey. All the way back to Rey. Gosh, I'm very much going on a segue tangent thing there. Yes, I really like the fact that she's Palpatine. I think that's fine. I think it's brilliant. It makes sense. It makes total sense. The fact that, Kylo / Ben and Rey are a dyad in the Force, make up this big, the two of them are linked, so they become one in the Force, basically. Palpatine says it's like a power like life itself, which is how he uses them, you see in the movie, he uses them to restore himself. But it makes sense, because, if he's the grandson of Vader and she's the grandson of Palpatine, and yeah, I don't know, I think it's great. I mean, I get why people would think it might be better if she was no one, considering, Shmi Skywalker was no one, even though Palpatine, is responsible for Anakin, but, I don't know, it's just, I don't know, I do get why people would think that it should be no one, because, I guess the power of, her coming from nothing and actually becoming something, like, that, I think that kind of, it's powerful, it's very meaningful, and I know, it's really good. And, in not first movie, in A New Hope, we all think Luke comes from nowhere, and he has that story, and he becomes this, great fighter in the Rebel Alliance. And then, but I don't know, I think it's better that she's a Palpatine just because of how OP she is, how overpowered she's been throughout this whole trilogy in terms of her Force capabilities. So I think it makes perfect sense for her to be Palpatine. I don't really see why people have an issue with it, to be honest. It really, really makes sense to me, but I don't know, unless there is another character in canon somewhere that she could have been related to. I mean, I knew they weren't going to do Obi-Wan. I knew she wasn't going to be a Skywalker. Like, it was, I mean, I didn't know, but you know what I mean. Like, it just didn't feel right. And I didn't even consider Palpatine having any kind of connection to her. I should have thought about that, but it never occurred to me. So the fact that when Kylo Ren says to her, "You're a Palpatine," I was like, I think I actually gasped. I was like, okay, that's really cool. And it totally explains her leanings towards the dark side. You know, we see in Last Jedi when she's on Ahch-To training with Luke and she's meditating and she goes, you know, he's like, you went straight to the dark place. Like, you went straight for the dark side. You didn't resist. You didn't hesitate. It makes perfect sense. Like, and then the way she struggles with where she stands in terms of what side of the Force in The Last Jedi, and how that's continued through in this movie. And then when you find out she's a Palpatine, it's like, well, that seems to fit for me. So yeah, I don't really get why people are having an issue with it. I think it's brilliant. Also, Jodie Comer played her mum, and I love her, so I was so happy to see Villanelle from Killing Eve on the big screen, even for a brief time. That was really nice. Yeah, and the fact that her parents were nobodies because they chose to be nobodies, because they, you know, Palpatine's son wasn't evil like his father, I guess, and he, you know, defected, but then, you know, his father caught up with him and had them killed while they were trying to protect Rey. And I mean, it is a bit weird that if Palpatine needed Rey in order for him to kind of, well, for the Sith to kind of come back, and, you know, how did he not know she was on Jakku? I don't know. There's a lot of questions about that. Maybe that don't really fit. I don't know, but anyway, whatever. It's fine. What else can I talk about? I really like the fact that they made Leia her Jedi Master. I thought that was really wonderful. A really, really nice choice, and I really enjoyed the flashback we got when Force Ghost Luke is explaining to Rey, you know, why Leia stopped training because she foresaw that Ben would turn to the dark side, and it scared her half to death and all of that. And that was just really well done. I really liked that quite a bit. Yeah, that was really nice. So I probably should talk about Carrie Fisher then, since I brought her up. Yes. I was very pleased with how she looked in this film, because that was definitely one of my biggest concerns going into The Rise of Skywalker was, okay, how are they going to handle Leia? How are they going to give her the ending she deserves? And I think they did. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's literally the best that they were going to do. You know, the fact that they even got it down that good is just beyond impressive for me. I mean, there are a couple of moments when it's a bit noticeable, and that's going to happen. You know, CGI only has certain capabilities, especially these days as well, as you see between films. But I don't know, with what they had, I think they made it work really well. There's some scenes, the dialogue with her and other characters is actually quite seamless, and I was really impressed, honestly, really, really impressed. Yes, and it was really nice to see her kind of play a big part in this film. You know, they made Leia mean something really great in this movie, considering she was originally going to be a big part of the whole thing. You know, episode 9 was supposed to be Leia's film, just as episode 8 was Luke's, and then episode 7 was Han's. This was supposed to be hers, and I think they definitely succeeded with that, that's for sure. I also really liked the fact that Billie Lourd, her daughter, real life daughter, for those who don't know, she's played Lieutenant Connix throughout the sequel trilogy, 7, 8, 9. And in this film, she had a bit more of a role, more lines. The outfit she wore, I was reading, is actually the same outfit Leia wore on Endor, which is, sans the camouflage, which was really, really cool. Even the hair was the same. I'm like, that's super sweet. And also, Billie Lourd is the same age, was the same age at the time of filming that Carrie Fisher was the same age when she filmed Return of the Jedi. They were both 26, mum and daughter. So I don't know, I thought that was really beautiful. Yes, that was really nice. So, okay, so Carrie Fisher, Leia, dies in this film, and she becomes one with the Force, just like, you know, all the other Jedi we've basically seen do, and that was really, really nice. And the fact that she gave her life as her last act to save her son, to redeem her son, to finally get through to him. I thought it was fine. I know people online are having issues with that as well, but I think it's, I don't know, it makes sense. I think it's good. I don't really know how to explain it. I just really think it's really good. I'm going to say really a lot because I'm starting to get tired. Yeah, but no, the whole scene on, you know, the wreckage of the Death Star, where Kylo and Rey fight each other. It's a brilliantly choreographed fight scene, by the way. Absolutely adored that. It was very, very impressive. And then when Leia tries to get through, like, you know, Kylo's getting tired, Rey's getting tired, so maybe that's how Leia was able to finally get in, is that he was worn down by the fight, and Leia got in that way. I don't know, but that was just really powerful. And then the fact that she was able to, oh gosh, I'm gonna get emotional. The fact that she was able to save him and bring Ben back and destroy Kylo Ren, essentially, was such a powerful moment. And Rey nearly killed him at the same time, which I think she technically killed Rey. She technically killed Leia, I think, because, you know, she dies once the lightsaber goes in, and they were connected. So maybe that's how that happens. I don't know. I could be reading too much into that. But yeah, it was very emotional, very powerful, and I'm really glad that Rey healed Ben, and prevented him from dying. But yeah, it was, I don't know, was really okay with the way Leia went out, saving her son. I think it's beautiful. Which then leads us to an incredible moment, and one of my favorite moments of the whole film, and just, you should have heard the sounds people made in the theater. You just hear his voice say, "Hey kid," and straight away everyone just lost their shit. Harrison Ford, ladies and gentlemen, Han Solo, returns in this film. It's only for like 2 minutes, and it's basically them redoing the scene from Force Awakens when Kylo killed him, but I don't care. It's so good. Like, and he gets through to him. I'm gonna cry. It's so good. I was speechless, basically. I just couldn't handle how good it was, honestly. Oh man. I am gonna cry. God. Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, so powerful. So powerful. And then just to see the look on Ben's face. He's looking at his dad, even though he's not really there, and, you know, he's seeing a memory through the Force, I guess. And just the look on his face, like Adam Driver, man, just, he deserves so many accolades, so many awards for his performance. Just give him an Oscar just for existing, basically. He's phenomenal. but that scene where he just says Dad, and then Han just says I know. Oh man, that, oh god. J.J. Abrams, Chris Terrio, you guys nailed it with that. I was blown away, and I still am. Jesus Christ, it's so powerful. And on a more upbeat, silly note, I didn't actually realize that Kylo Ren's scar from the duel with Rey on Starkiller Base in Force Awakens. I didn't realize the scar disappeared when she healed him, and Ben came back, I suppose. The scar disappeared. It's so great. And the fact that he threw his lightsaber away into the ocean, just, yeah. That whole thing was great. It's so good. Oh man. Force Ghost Luke was another great moment in this movie. Seeing him catch the lightsaber and saying a Jedi's weapon should be treated with more respect. Oh, what? Okay, that's a dig. That is such a dig at Last Jedi. I don't care what you think. Like, one of my biggest issues with Last Jedi was the fact that it opens like I said, in the last video, all this anticipation, you're waiting for 2 years to see what Luke's gonna do when Rey hands him the lightsaber, and he just throws it away. I'm just like, no, Luke Skywalker would not do that. And then in this film, you know, he's Force Ghost, and he grabs it before she can throw it into the flames of Kylo's burning ship. And yeah, I like the fact that she goes back to Arcto as well. Like, that's brilliant too. But yeah, seeing Mark Hamill again, yeah, he's only in it for like 5 minutes as well, but I don't care. It's such a good scene, and he gets through to Rey before she gives up completely, you know, because she's scared of the power she has and whether it'll lead to darkness. And oh man, yeah, it's so good. I just love it. And then the fact that, oh god, I'm probably gonna get emotional again. The fact that he raises Red 5, the X-Wing, from the ocean up into the air, and the same music from Empire is playing when Yoda lifts it out of the swamp on Dagobah. I know it's fan service. I don't give a crap. And the look on Mark Hamill's face, on Luke's face, the smirk, it's just so good. It's such a good moment. I can't handle it. I really can't. That's another really good thing in this film. The music. The music in this film is superb, and it's sad because it's the last Star Wars film that John Williams, the legendary John Williams, it's the last one he's ever gonna do for Star Wars. So that's very disappointing, but understandable because he's getting on, and he's spoiled us way too much in his lifetime with everything he's given us. He's, you know, as I've said many times, he's my favorite composer for a reason. And this movie, the way he uses all the themes of all the different characters, you know, the fact that Kylo Ren's theme and Ben Solo's theme are the same, except Ben Solo's theme, you know, sounds slightly, you know, brighter and more heroic. Like, using Leia's theme during the scene, like, when she's, you know, when they're all mourning her and she's lying on the bed and her music starts playing, oh my god, I was so emotional. I am emotional. It's just so good. It's just so good. I can't handle how good that music is in this movie. It's just, yeah, no, it's exactly. Oh, that's another thing that made me really cry. Freaking Chewbacca, when he found out Leia was gone, and he just broke, and he just started moaning. Oh god. Oh god. That was hard. That was when Leia's death really hit me out, because it was just like, he's not just reacting to losing her, he's just like, I've lost everyone. Leia's gone, Luke's gone, Han is gone, I'm alone, essentially. Like, that's just, he's lost three of his family, essentially. Yeah, that was hard to watch. That was a really hard moment. Okay, what are some other things I can talk about? I mean, I should probably start to wrap up because we're 40 minutes now. Sorry, everyone. I'll try to be quick. The ending with Ben and Rey. Now, I loved seeing Ben Solo. I wish we'd gotten more of him. He's brilliant. He is such the son of Han Solo. It's just fantastic. Again, Adam Driver's acting is so good because you see the way he changes. It's not just internal, it's external. His whole body changes physically in the way he carries himself, the way he fights, the look on his face. The last thing Ben Solo says in this movie is "ow" when he's on Exegol and he like jumps down and he hurts himself and he says "ow" in such a Han Solo way, which was great. That's the last thing he ever says. He doesn't have any dialogue from then onwards until he dies. It's all acted with the face and the body, and Adam Driver is just, I can't handle how good he is in this movie. Definitely my favourite performance from him from all three films. Far and away. Holy crap. Yeah, but seeing Ben and Rey fight together against the Emperor, and him fighting against the Knights of Ren, it was so good, so fantastic to watch, and just epic as shit. I really loved Rey using both Luke and Leia's sabers. Oh, the fact that Leia had her own saber. Oh, and the fact that it's those two sabers that are with Rey when she's, facing off against him. My only qualm I have with that end scene where she beats him is the fact, well, apart from the fact that it's kind of over too fast. Like, once she gets the two lightsabers together, it ends pretty quickly after that. But whatever, the movie was over 2 hours long, it's fine. Is the fact that moment he says, "I am all of the Sith," and then she says, "and I am Iron Man." No, she doesn't say that. But she basically does, right? I don't know if anyone else noticed that, but it's the endgame moment. I am inevitable, I am Iron Man, I am all the Sith, and I am all the Jedi. Like, it's the same moment. So I'm annoyed about that, but at the same time I kind of love it just because, two of my favourite movies of the year, reference each other. That's kind of cool. But at the same time, no, don't like it. I love the symbolism of that, but yeah. Which brings me to, I wanted to read out every single name, every single voice that Rey hears when she's laying on the ground and, she's feeling defeated, looking for inspiration, all of that stuff, looking up at the sky as the resistance is starting to crumble in the battle, and and then she hears all the voices of the Jedi, notable Jedi from other Star Wars films and TV shows. Now we have Anakin Skywalker, Hayden Christensen returns, Luminara Unduli, voiced by Olivia DeBow from Star Wars The Clone Wars, Ahsoka Tano, which is the one that everyone lost their shit over, the fact that Ahsoka is, canon, she's official, I haven't seen Clone Wars, I really should watch it because everyone raves about how great of a character she is, and I really hope they give her a live action film or TV show because I would definitely watch that. That would be brilliant, but she's voiced by Ashley Eckstein, I'm guessing it's Eckstein. So she's obviously, Clone Wars, and she's in Rebels as well, Star Wars Rebels. Then there's Ayla Sakura, I'm probably butchering all these names, so I apologise. Voiced by Jennifer Hale from Clone Wars. Mace Windu, Samuel L. Jackson returns. So great. That was a moment. Obi-Wan Kenobi, young and old, voiced by Ewan McGregor and Sir Alec Guinness. Perfect. So good. Yoda is there, of course. Frank Oz returning once again. A.D. Gallia, or Gallia, I'm butchering it. I am so sorry. I need to watch these shows. Voiced by Angelique Perrin from the Clone Wars. She's there as well. Kanan Jarrus from Rebels, voiced by Freddie Prinze Jr. is there. And Qui-Gon Jinn, Liam Neeson himself. Liam Neeson, ladies and gentlemen. Making his return officially after all this time. 20 years, he's back. Yeah, so those are all of the voices. All of the voices that Rey hears as she rises. The Rise of Skywalker, if you will. So, yeah, I really, really liked it quite a bit. I forgot to mention that John Williams has an actual cameo in this film, which was pretty cool. He's one of the bartender in one of the cantinas on Kijimi that you see for a brief second, like shaking his head at them. Very funny. Just quickly too, Zori Bliss, played by Kerry Russell, really liked her character, really want more of her character. Her outfit was amazing, and there are going to be some really cool cosplays in the future from some awesome fans out there, I would imagine. Babu Frick, such a cute little thing. I didn't like him at first, but second watch reaffirmed that I actually really like this character. My favorite part though was when he arrives at the end, when or everyone else who can come and help the Resistance fight against the Final Order, when they all arrive, and then Babu Frick's in one of the ships and he's like, yeah, like he says his little woo kind of little thing. Oh god, I've forgotten how it sounds, but it's so funny. I remember laughing my ass off, so I really like him. He's voiced by Shirley Henderson, and for those who don't recognize Shirley Henderson's name, she is the actress who played Moaning Myrtle in Harry Potter, and that blew my mind when I heard that fact. I was like, okay, that's excellent. Didn't recognize her at all. She's very talented, clearly. What else can I talk about? The first gay kiss in Star Wars. Holy crap, what a moment. It's brief. People are complaining about the briefness of it. I don't care. We should just be happy it's there, people. That's my opinion. That's how I feel. As a queer person myself, like, how freaking amazing that is even there. Like, it's no Star Wars films before. I don't know, I just really, really loved it. A lot of people are kind of wishing that Finpo had become canon, that kind of ship, and even the actors, especially Oscar Isaac, was a big advocate for, Disney actually, growing some cojones and doing that, but that's not the story that they wanted to tell, and, I mean, yes, it sucks, but I think it's fine. They're just really, really good friends. I also really liked the end where the trio hugged and how emotional that hug was. That was one of the best, like, oh my god, it's over, you guys are alive, we survived, we did it, we won, kind of hugs ever. Loved it. Brilliant. What other notes do I have? Oh yeah, the lightsaber pass. Oh god, this video is going to be so long now. I'm just going to forewarn you, I'm not done. I'm like looking at my notes, I'm like, oh, I've got things I haven't said yet that I really want to say. The lightsaber pass, that was my favorite moment of the whole film. When Rey and Ben see each other through the Force as they do, and they just, the slightest of nods, and then she puts the saber behind her, and then he pulls it out, and then does the Han Solo shrug. Like, I'm sorry, best moment of the film, hands down. I adore that through and through. Like, you cannot tell me that's a bad moment. That is an incredible moment, and I freaking loved it. As for Reylo as a ship, yes, I'm on board now. It's a bit sad that Ben had to die straight after, but he gave his life to bring Rey back after she died, defeating the Emperor. But But, you know, I mean, it makes sense because, you know, he's had his redemption, that's fine, but he also did some really horrible things, just like Anakin Skywalker did. He killed younglings. He probably shouldn't live. You know, just in terms of story, if that's what you're doing with a character, like, you can't, all the awful things he did, he can't carry on. You know, and I didn't think they were, I've said it a million times, I didn't think they were going to redeem him. I'm like, surely not. They'll do something different. They're not going to do, you know, the Darth Vader redemption, but I guess kind of thematically it makes sense, especially because it's Star Wars, and especially because his story is similar to Anakin's, only in the fact that he started off, you know, good, turned bad, you know, and then came good again at the end and then died. Like, it's, yeah, it's the same. But it's fine. I don't overly mind it. It sucks because I really want more Ben Solo now, just because I really enjoyed those few minutes we got of Adam Driver as Ben Solo, like, a lot. As for the kiss, I'm okay with it. It's fine. It was a really sweet moment. My only issue with it is the fact that Rey didn't seem to be too upset by the fact that Ben was dead. She just kind of had this look on her face as she watched him fade away. She didn't, like, cry out. She didn't, I don't know, it was weird. Unless she just accepted it because, you know, they're one with the Force, and she knew it was going to happen, but she looked confused as to why it was happening, or shocked. I don't know. It was weird. That was the only weird thing about it, is Rey's reaction to Ben dying. But that moment, you know, that the two of them shared was just, I know, I thought it was really beautiful. So I was totally okay with the kiss. Totally fine. Rey has a yellow lightsaber now, and it looks like it was made out of her staff, but we don't actually get full confirmation of that. It looks like that's what happens, and it's pretty cool. The only thing is I really would have liked to have seen that lightsaber in action. Also glad that she's taken on the name Skywalker, and it was beautiful how she looks over. She's on Tatooine, she's at the homestead, the Lars homestead, and looking over at Force Ghost Luke and Leia. My only issue is that I really think Ben Solo should be standing with them, but I can understand why he's not, especially considering she just buried, you know, their two, the two lightsabers there, Luke and Leia's lightsabers, in the sand, which made me laugh so much when I saw a meme about how that one of those lightsabers is actually originally Anakin's lightsaber, and how, you know, we all know how much he loves sand. So that was pretty funny. Yeah, but that was a really nice moment, a really good ending, I think, for Rey. What else was I going to say? Okay, I really liked Richard E. Grant as General Pride. Fantastic addition to the cast. Would have loved to have seen more of him in this trilogy. Apart from this film, he was very good. General Hux, I loved what they did with him. The fact that he was the spy and his motivation was solely because he wanted to see Kylo Ren lose. I thought that was so in character for him and just so brilliant. Yeah, I adored it. It sucks that he got killed, but I really liked that they did that, actually, just because it was so obvious that he was the spy. Like, once we found out, and what he, like, you know, like, well, General Pride seems like a pretty savvy guy, pretty switched on, so the fact that he figured him out straight away was not surprising to me, and the fact that he just shot him, I thought that was really cool. So, but that was good. Finn being Force sensitive, also a thing. Apparently J.J. Abrams has said that that's what he wanted to tell Rey. When they were sinking into the quicksand, he's like, Rey, I never told you, blah, blah, blah. Like, he didn't actually get to, you know, say what it was. And the whole movie, they make a thing about it, and they never actually get to have that conversation. Apparently he was going to tell her that he's Force sensitive, and that would have been pretty interesting to explore, but they didn't have enough time to do that, unfortunately. But what they did with his ability during the film was really nice. I really liked it. John Boyega as Finn, fantastic. Oscar Isaac again as Poe Dameron, fantastic. I want more of them. More. Give me more. I'm so sad that it's over, but here we are, dealing with what we have. We got to see Ewoks in this movie. Like, how good. Frickin' Warwick Davis actually reprised his role as Wicket. He, as one of the two Ewoks there, and Wicket had a little kid, and oh god, so good. And the Porgs came back there in that brief little moment in Arcto. Very, very nice. Very much enjoyed that as well. What else can I mention? I think that's it, yes. Oh, Chewie and Wedge and Lando. I haven't talked about any of that. Freaking Billy D. I'm sorry, this is really, really long. Billy D. Williams coming back as Lando Calrissian. That was great to see. So glad he finally got the chance to come back and reprise his role as that suave motherfucker. He is amazing. And he got to kind of have that moment where he brings the cavalry in. That was really wonderful, just to see him behind, you know, on the bridge of the Millennium Falcon in the cockpit there with Chewbacca. Just adore it. Absolutely adore it. Really lovely. Seeing Wedge again, Dennis Lawson reprising his role as Wedge Antilles from the original trilogy. I nearly leapt up out of my seat because he is one of my favorite characters in the whole Star Wars canon. I've just always loved Wedge. I've said it in my other videos. Ever since I was a kid watching the original trilogy, Wedge is one of my favorites. And even though we only got him for like 3 seconds, I don't care. Wedge was there. He was fighting with them. So great. Chewie gets Han's medal. Need to make that clear. It's not a medal out of nowhere. It's actually Han's, because when Leia dies, she's holding you see the medal in her hands, and it falls, like when her hand falls to the side. So, and then Maz Kanata gives the medal to Chewie. And yes, very much ultimate fan service, because, since the creation of the internet, and maybe even earlier in regards to Star Wars, people have been annoyed that Chewbacca didn't get a medal for his part to, destroy the Death Star along with Han and Luke at the end of A New Hope. But he finally got his medal, and it was a beautiful moment. It was brief, but it was all it needed to be, and I loved it. So he deserves that through and through, as we all know. I think that's it. I think we're finally at an end. I think I can finally let you guys go and get back to your real life, and seeing, that's it. I'm done, I think. Yeah, I'm just looking at my notes, just trying to see if I've forgotten anything. Oh, apparently the first and last lines that C-3PO says in the entire saga, the first thing you ever hear him say is, "Did you hear that?" In A New Hope, I think. And then he said it's his last line in this film. So that's a really cool bookend for his character as well. Okay, I'm done. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna let you guys go. Watch Rise of Skywalker again if you want, because it's so awesome. I absolutely adored it. It's probably my favorite film of the three. Easily loved it more than Last Jedi. Loved it more than Force Awakens. I think it's fantastic. Go check it out. If you haven't already, and if you haven't and you just watched this, then, well, I'm not sorry, because this is a spoiler video. But regardless, yes, thank you for watching me ramble about all of my thoughts on Rise of Skywalker. Thank you so much. Awesome. That's the end of my Star Wars review ramble series. Thank you for watching. If you've watched all of them, I appreciate it so much. I really, really do. So thank you. I guess there will be more from me in the future. Who knows what the future holds. But until then, I've been a Kendall Richardson, and you've just experienced non-scripted ramblings. May the Force be with you.